Well, the last Wings Weekly of the 2022 season. Of course, New Year's coming up in here in just a little bit, and we'll continue on the rest of the year. But this is it for the first half, really. Head coach Scott Langer, of course, as usual, joining me. Coach, a weekend in Austin. When we finished out 4 games with them back-to-back, you end up winning 3 of 4 of the total. And Friday night started with a 5-3 loss, unfortunately. A penalty kill was 2 of 4. Maybe not as a physical of a game from the Wings side of things that as you would have maybe liked. Maybe not the start to the weekend that you'd have liked, but a bounce-back game Saturday. But let's start with Friday. Overall, your staff, you know, when you watch that game, what do you see?
Well, I mean, we played 2 minutes of bad hockey.
Yeah.
It cost us the game, but you know, we were in the game the whole time. But it's just that one time frame. You know, we had to be better. We knew we had to be better in order to be successful in night 2, and I thought that happened.
Yeah. Well, and like you mentioned, it's a 2-2 game going into the third. Then, you know, 3 minutes, 7 seconds later, three goals are scored, and it's like, okay, what happened here? You get one back on the power play late to make it that 5-3 score. But, you know, and like, you know, we talked a little bit about on Saturday. You know, it was kind of ironic to me that, you know, the penalty kill had been so strong here at the OD Ice Center and had been trending in the right direction. You're at the top of the Central Division at that point, and it faltered a little bit there on Friday night. Were you surprised by that?
No, I mean, I mean, it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. You know, when you're down a man, you know, eventually teams are going to score some goals on you. It just happens. But there were some details lacking in our penalty kill that allowed them to have some success, and you know, I thought we corrected that for the most part in night 2. But you know, in this division right now, you kind of need to take points every night.
Yeah.
To get to the top. So, but you know, it's a learning experience. Sometimes when you have a game like that, you have the opportunity to teach, and we did that, and I thought our guys picked up on it well.
Well, clearly, Saturday a better game overall. The power play went 1 of 3, penalty kill. You killed off 4 penalties of 5. You end up winning that one 4-2. You outshot, outchanced them, more physical from your guys, it felt like to me. You know, and a better overall performance. And like you said, a teaching moment from Friday. You have an opportunity to clean up some things. Saturday's matchup, you obviously with the win, you know, not much to complain about. But were you happy with the way things went Saturday, other than obviously the win?
Yeah, you know, we got really good goaltending, I thought. Mm-hmm. You know, they scored early on a power play goal, but our guys just kind of kept fighting. And we knew as a team that we needed those 2 points, and I thought our guys played pretty well knowing that. You know, it's a good group of guys that seem to respond when things don't go well. They seem to respond and get things done. So we were happy as a staff. I mean, you want to go into Christmas break on a good note. I mean, you don't want to be sour for your break. And you know, when we do come back here, we're coming off a win. So I think that's extremely important. We got some timely scoring. I thought our guys were way more physical in night 2, and you know, we were playing against a good goaltender and had to find a way, and we did. Yeah.
It's been a solid goaltending for the Bruins all year, really, but certainly over the last few months. You know, and you mentioned it. That was one of the notes that I said, you know, kind of set aside to mention, is that how important it is to end that portion before the guys go off and get a chance to spend some time with family and stuff, to end it on a positive note. So that's certainly great. And like I said, 3 of 4 against the number 1 team in the division. You know, they gotta like that. Consistency. You know, you mentioned that. Well, we've talked about it a handful of times, and it's certainly getting better. But that's a difficult thing. It's hard to kind of put your finger on what it takes to become a consistent team. Do you think experience is part of that? Do you think as this season goes along, that's part of what can, you know, aid with being consistent?
Yeah, learning how to manage yourself as a player in this league, what it takes to win. I mean, I think guys have learned some pretty good lessons over the first half of the season on how hard it is to win in the Central Division of the North American Hockey League. Right. Like, things have to go the right way, and you have to play perfect hockey in order to get points. And that's kind of been the biggest message is how we manage our game every night. And I just you know, we don't have a ton of veteran hockey players in this room, so to speak. So I think our guys are doing a pretty good job of, being a first year players here in Aberdeen and kind of figuring out how tough it is, but how it can get done.
Right. Well, that actually transitions pretty nicely into my next question, which was that the fact that there aren't a lot of veterans, and that some of these rookies are starting to look like, they're really starting to look like seasoned veterans. Guys like Backel, guys like, Fursilius. You see some of these younger guys, and obviously from the vets, you kind of know what to expect from them. They've been there, they've done that. But the rookies, we talked about it as a team, the growth. What about as individual players? Are you seeing, some of these guys starting to kind of come into their own?
Yeah, you nailed it. Guys like Backwell and those guys that are young players that are coming out of midget hockey or high school hockey and having to understand what it's like to kind of be a pro. And junior hockey is almost like being a pro, even though you're not. You have to take care of your body, you have to take care of your game, you have to take care of your life outside the rink, and you got to be ready to play at 7 o'clock when the puck drops.
Yeah.
And that's a lot for a young player. That they're still young, and there's a lot of stuff going on in their life, and their families hundreds of miles away, but I think our guys have done a good job of understanding what junior hockey is all about. You got to win, and you got to perform, and you got to develop, because your goal at the end of the day is to play Division I hockey. But yeah, it's a lot, but it's rewarding as well.
Yeah, without a doubt.
When players get that Division I scholarship, or they go and play college somewhere, it's very rewarding.
And it's funny because you can just kind of see it a little bit. They almost have a little bit of a shine to them when they first get here. That they start to get a little more salty and seasoned, and you start to see them, playing with a little more grit, for example, and those kinds of things as the season goes along. So it is, like you said, rewarding, I think, in a lot of different ways, actually. Well, right now, as we, again, close out the first half of the season, Austin Bruins, top of the division, 41 points. They have played 28 games. Wings now in second place with 33 points, 27 games played, 5 points ahead of North Iowa, who is sitting right now in third with 28 points in 27 games. Minot also with 28 points, but with 28 games played. The tiebreaker goes to North Iowa there. St. Cloud with 26 points and 26 games played. Bismarck at the bottom of the division with 25 points and 26 games played. So that's where we sit at basically the halfway point here of the 2022-2023 season. And as Coach, and I were just talking about, this team definitely feels like it's taking the right strides. Great to see that, and looking forward to the second portion coming up. All right, Coach, that's it. That's it for the first half of the show, first half of the season. Wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and look forward to getting back to it here when things get ramped back up here at the ODI Center. Next games are going to be on the 30th and 31st, New Year's Eve party and all that. You will have more information coming up on that. But again, thanks for your time, and have a fantastic trip, and enjoy the holidays with your family.
Merry Christmas, Jay.
All right, folks, we'll return with the second portion of Wings Weekly coming up after this.
We raise the bar on bar food with sandwiches, tenders, and there's more where this came from. To the greatest of all times.
The second portion of Wings Weekly is continuing on here again on our final show of the first half. Normally I would have a player joining me, and while he was once a player, not one of the Wings players. In fact, we have joining us now Wings president Aaron Smith. Thank you for joining us. I mean, this might be a first.
This is a first. I've hosted the show before, but I have never been a guest on the show. So I was a tender last year, though. So
yes.
If you want to look back on social media,
that's kind of why I was thinking about the past playing history. The stat sheet on that tender was impressive.
Yes, trimmed down a little bit since then, but yeah.
Playing weight.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been good.
Well, we talked with Coach Langer, of course, about the weekend in Austin and how things, how this season really has gone and where it's trending, what he's seeing from his team and so on. I wanted to grab you and talk a little bit about, maybe not about the hockey side of things so much, but about the community involvement, about the fans and seeing these, 1,700 people, nights. And even when it's bitter cold or whatever, we're able to bring in 1,500-1,600 people that are just on their feet and cheering on. That means a lot to this team to be part of the community and to have that relationship with the fans. I know when I talk to players, they're always just like, wow, they're just blown away by the amount of support that this community gives. What does that mean to you as the president and as somebody that has their finger on the pulse of the community in a lot of senses?
I mean, it's really everything for us. That's what we strive to do in the offseason as a front office, is put fans in here and give them a reason to come here other than the players playing great hockey. So it's something from the very beginning. I've been here for 13 years now, and it's something the Odie family has preached from day one is we need to make this an electric atmosphere. We need to be having fun. Not just the hockey side of things, but everything off the ice, the games at the intermissions, the music, the lights, everything that goes into it. So it's been a focus of ours since day one to make it so it's a fan enjoyable atmosphere here at the Odie. And I mean, it's watching these interviews, listening to players year after year after year talk about just the fans in here just goes to show you that it's not just a fluke thing. It's something that we've built a solid foundation for and have built on since then.
Yeah, without a doubt. And you know, one of the things, my favorites are when a player comes from another team, you know, in another division or maybe on the East Coast or whatever, and they're like, whoa, this is so cool. Or, you know, a couple of years ago, I remember Fairbanks. I think we were playing an exhibition with them, and the Fairbanks scratch players were sitting there just with their jaws open going, oh, you guys do it right. And I said, what was that? I wanted to make sure I heard what they said.
It's saying something coming from Fairbanks, too.
Yeah.
They have the dip up there, and it's a well-established place. It's a fun place to play, too. So.
Yeah, without a doubt. In fact, I think that might have been the COVID year where they were actually playing in Marshall, though. So maybe some of those players had never actually been to the dip. But you know, it was just cool to hear players from other places and stuff even recognize that, you know, that it is a labor of love in a lot of senses and that it does provide an electric atmosphere. I've got some friends that come over, you know, multiple times a year from the Watertown area. And the first time they came to a game, they said to me, we couldn't believe it. They're like, you know, they used to go to some Brookings games or they go to, you know, high school hockey games or whatever. And they're like, this feels like it has a professional environment, you know? And I'm like, yeah, with the music and the lights and like everything you said, it is a lot of fun. And I know a lot of people around town that maybe weren't hockey fans have become hockey fans because of the great environment and so on. What does it mean to you? I mean, obviously, there's so many moving pieces on a game day. I mean, you've got people that are literally running the Zamboni there, that are running games, that are doing interviews on ice, that are running the music, that are doing security and taking tickets, and the concession stand, obviously, a huge part of it. There's been so many things and so many moving pieces. It's got to be a bit of a chore for everyone involved to keep things running smooth.
Yeah, it definitely is. And we keep a small staff, which probably complicates things even more, but it's one of those deals where it's everybody kind of knows their job, knows what needs to be done, and makes sure it gets it done. It's checking in on just kind of overlooking, do you need help in this section? How are we doing over here? And making sure everything gets done. It's, like I said, small staff has played probably a hindrance in a lot of ways, but it's also one of those deals where you kind of know what needs to get done. It helps the night go a little bit quicker. And I think for the most part, everything gets done in an orderly fashion and well enough for the game to be put on anyways.
Well, without a doubt. And, you know, and there's so many parts of that I don't think that people necessarily recognize, you know, whether it comes down to a scoreboard operator or, like I said, concessions or apparel. They do such a great job and they keep people moving. You know, there aren't long lines waiting, and, you know, the apparel gals, you know, they're so great about knowing, you know, what sizes are or what all the different things. When someone comes to them with questions, they can answer. They're, you know, great authority in that sense. So I wanted to mention that. But, you know, obviously with employees, staff, all of those sorts of things that make a game day, there's also so many people that we want to thank, like the billet families. You know, wouldn't be able to do it without them.
Yeah, we would not have an organization without the billet families. And since day one, again, going all the way back, it's been something that's just been consistently there. And the community stepped up in a huge way. And that's one of the things you talked about earlier was the community help. But we knew from the very beginning, if we put ourselves out into the community, get these guys in front of them, help them out with things, they're going to support us and likewise. So it's one of those deals where we started right away just saying, hey, would you want some hockey kids to come live with you? And it's blown up since then. And we've been lucky enough, not every place has the billet following that we have, to have them stick around year after year. There's people that have been here for all 13 seasons building. And those people are recruiting other people to come in and help the new process. So it's one of those things where without them, we're not here talking right now.
Right. Can't thank them enough for sure. And they bring them into their homes and into their families and become family. You know, we often talk about how the Wings are a family. You know, it says right here in the locker room now the players and the coaches and stuff, they become that. But it also includes the community and the billet families. You know, so this time of year when it's holidays and stuff, you know, the meals and all the kinds of things that they, you know, do for these players, it's pretty special for sure.
And most of it goes unnoticed completely. The billets, they'll do their own thing. They'll have their own get-togethers. and it's not publicized. It's something that goes completely under the radar, and they deserve to be recognized for that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we talked a little about the partnership with Billet families and with all of the community, with the staff and everybody that makes the Wings season as we are at the halfway point and looking forward to a new year, literally January 1st. That we want to appreciate and recognize all of these moving pieces and stuff. And one of them also is the marketing partners. The people that help sponsor and help bring bringing that level of excitement. There's so many things that probably wouldn't or couldn't be done without the partnerships that we have with so many businesses in this community.
Yeah, and it's, again, hate to sound like a broken record, but from day one the community stepped up and supported this. They saw what it could be, and give Greg and Nancy and the Odie family credit for what they saw too, because they basically took a chance on everything. Mm-hmm. And at the very beginning we were told by plenty of people, like, this is a basketball community, hockey's not really supported here, but we knew that what this could be with their support, and tried to pitch that as it's not a basketball community. Aberdeen's a sports community.
Yeah.
And it's a community first, so we knew the whole giving back to the community part, they're going to likewise come out and support us. And from day one to even this year, we have people telling us, I don't know what exactly happened in this game. I don't know what this call was for, but I'm coming back tomorrow night because there's such a great atmosphere in here. And that doesn't happen without the community partners that we have,
yeah,
and their support with that. And like I said, we're lucky enough to have a local ownership who's got their hands on the pulse of everything that we're doing here. Mm-hmm. But none of that happens without the community support. So we're able to give these kids an NHL-style locker room. We're able to give them an on-site training center. We're able to get them more ice time. We're able to do a lot of things that some of these other places can't do because we have that backing of our marketing partners.
Yeah, and the list is long of all of those that are involved, but no matter what it is, whether it's just some signage on the dasher or on the boards, or maybe it's the scoreboard or whatever it might be, we appreciate all of their support from everybody that helps sponsor, no matter what it is. Well, I mentioned the apparel shop and everything. That it's Christmas. I mean, here we are, just days away, really. And if people are looking for a last-minute opportunity to buy somebody maybe a Wings sweatshirt or a beanie or a hat or whatever it might be, sounds like there's some opportunities for people to do some little shopping at times here coming up too, huh?
Yeah, we're normally open by appointment or during game days, but we're going to extend that a little bit this week and be open from 11 to 1 through December 22nd. So that's be this Thursday. So over your lunch hour, if you have a chance to come out and get some last-minute items. We're also going to be marketing a few things down a little bit before the holiday rush. So stop out and check out what we have, and we'll get you something.
Excellent. All right. Well, again, we talked about all the different things that we're basically thankful for, as we look forward to the beginning of the rest of the season, in a sense. So I want to thank you so much for coming on the show here a little bit and joining us, and just giving an opportunity really to recognize all the people that are involved and all the sponsorships and the businesses and the Billet families, and the list just goes on and on. We can't thank them enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for all your support, and the fans are included in that too, coming out and making the Odie a great place to play. Like you said, you've heard it from these guys from their own mouths as far as the atmosphere in here, and that's all because of them.
Without a doubt. Well, the team is enjoying the holiday break this weekend, and we'll be back at the Odie Ice Center on New Year's weekend, December 30th and 31st, against the St. Cloud Norsemen. Swing out both nights and help us light up the Odie. Start New Year's weekend with us on Friday as we welcome Boy Scout Troop 359 as the game's corporate sponsor inside the Automax Party Deck. On Saturday, we're lighting up the Odie for New Year's Eve. We have corporate bar stool seats available inside the Automax Party Deck. $20 gets you tickets and 2 beverage tickets, good for beer or pop. Call Aaron at 605-380-5852 to snag those seats. Plus, after the game, we invite our fans to a post-game party at Buffalo Wings and Rings. As always, tickets are available for this season's games online at tickets.aberdeenwings.com or at the door on game nights. $10 general admission tickets are also available at any Sea Express location in Aberdeen with additional purchase. Just a reminder that all SDAHA players and coaches can receive $5 general admission tickets at the door all season long. Your skater can still sign up for Wings clinics with assistant coach Zach Stepan. Visit AberdeenWings.com and click the Aberdeen Wings Youth Clinics tab for details and dates. Don't forget, you can listen to Wings Weekly via our podcast. Find the audio for this season's episodes on Spotify, Stitcher, or iHeartRadio. And for all the latest news and information on the Wings, visit AberdeenWings.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and on TikTok. And as Aaron and I talked about just moments ago, if you're looking for Christmas gifts, we have gift cards available at the Wings Pro Shop, open from 11 until 1 today through Thursday, December 22nd. Once again, President Aaron Smith, thank you so much for taking some time out of your very busy day to talk with us a little bit, and basically to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
That'll do it for this week's Wings Weekly.